All right. So, last time we left off, Omi got murked. And my boy Fuminori started eating that mess. He said, that mess pretty good. He enjoyed it. Okay? Fuminori enjoys human flesh, which to him appears as, like, what, fruit? Whenever we saw Saya eating it, it was a bit odd. It looked like lemon jello. I don't know. It was strange looking, to say the least. But yeah, so Omi got killed by Saya. Alright, because Omi wanted to go speak to Fuminori and give her a piece of her mind after Fuminori completely obliterated Yo. Just decimated her. Omi wanted to go confront him, and she got killed in the process because she got unlucky, man. She got unlucky. There was no way for her to know, bro. Just walk into someone's house, that's all messed up all of a sudden, and then you run into an eldritch horror. Yeah, you know, that's like normal stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much the biggest thing that happened last episode. Okay. And one thing that I want to go ahead and say now before I load up this save that I have is that this is the uncensored version now, which means that all the sexually explicit scenes are in here. I say that because since this is a new version, director's cut uncensored version, I had to play back up to where I left off on the first part. I had to. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was like, what, if I go in the configurations, I could find a control on how I could have like skipped ahead. But no, I just replayed it, and there was a scene where Fuminori and Saya were going at it. It not blurred or pixelated in any way. So yeah, that we have stuff like that to look forward to. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a good time. All right, let's go ahead and load this up. Yeah. Yes. All right, just put us right in here. Okay. So, I'm not going to read the voice lines that are acted out, even though it's Japanese. Right? So, technically, I probably should, because it's a completely different language. But I'm not, because it's weird. I don't like it. I did it in the first part for some time. Not this time. Chapter 4, The Monster in the Hospital. A medical student relates his shocking experiences. Will you believe him or not? Strange things started happening at the hospital around the end of last spring. It began with patients waking up in the middle of the night, screaming. They all spoke of terrifying nightmares, and many of them had to be sedated. Some patients even transferred to other hospitals because of it. The weird thing was that they all had exactly the same dream. A dream about some horribly disgusting monster staring down at them from their bedside. Saya. She tried doing that to Fuminori, and she was like, oh, well, didn't work. And now they're romantically involved. How old is Saya? I know she's not human. Okay. But is she like 13 as an eldritch horror abomination monster thing? If so, then that's very freaking, it's very, very weird. But this game is weird in general. Anyway, stop. I need to stop going on tangents, but the really strange stuff started happening after that. There used to be a lot of stray cats around campus looking for scraps from the students. One day the cats suddenly disappeared, and it wasn't that they'd stopped coming. It was more like they'd vanished from the area entirely. Saya out there eating them up, right? Okay. That's what she meant last time when she said, oh, I've never had one this big. I'm not talking about the sex scene. I'm talking about whenever she killed Omi, and Fuminori was all like, is this what you usually eat? And she's like, yeah, just never had one this big. But she's been eating like cats and stuff. And messing around with humans. And then people stopped walking their dogs around. According to rumors, the dogs were refusing to go anywhere near the school. Eventually, things started going missing in the hospital. Organs, to be precise. So she's all right. Transplant organs kept disappearing from storage. People came close to losing their jobs over it, and it wasn't just 2 or 3 times that it happened. They tried to keep it from the students, but we heard it was a lot worse than that. Alright, this is a wild shot. Kind of cool, actually. Wait, why is my... Oh, it's just goofy looking in general. It's a lot more accentuated, or whatever the word is, on my OBS software. I'm like, what the frick is that red pixel stuff? All right, people started saying that there was something living in the hospital. The janitors would find strange messes that could only have been made in the middle of the night, traces of something that had crawled down the hallway, or weird stains caused by something dripping through the ceiling. The late shift nurses talked about hearing strange noises on the same nights that patients awoke screaming. There's one last story, one you can never mention inside the hospital. One day, the obstetrics, there we go, I killed it. The obstetrics department went crazy. They said that a newborn had disappeared in the night. If that were true, the police would have come and it would have been all over the news, but they say the big shots managed to make it all go away. It's just a rumor, of course. These strange incidents suddenly stopped toward the end of summer. Now there are almost no patients complaining of nightmares, and the cats have started coming back to campus. But still, what happened in the hospital that summer? Even now, just thinking about it gives me the creeps. Oh, this place again. This place again. Why am I so mad to see this place? Okay. Who's calling who? Dot. Koji. And then, yo, I feel so bad for this girl. She's adorable looking. This is such a cute shot. What the frick? Look at that profile. Innocent. Too bad you're starring in a very dark game. So you're probably going to suffer a very dark fate. Nothing. Don't moan in my ear again. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is the 3rd day in a row that they haven't been able to get in touch with Omi. Yeah, because she clapped. She's dead. Y'all don't know. But they've got to be smart enough to know that before she disappeared, she did say she was going to go see Fuminori. Right? Right? Am I like, confused or something? There's no sign that she returned to her apartment, and even her family doesn't know anything. Her parents have already filed a missing persons report. Optimistic, I see. Yo replies. Oh, all right. Yo replies with a gloomy expression. She's worried about Omi, of course, but the incident with Fuminori 3 days ago must still be weighing on her as well. Yeah, it probably is. Yo hasn't seen Fuminori since then, and Fuminori hasn't made any effort to approach her or Koji. 4 people used to meet in this cafeteria between classes, but now there are only 2. Dude, this game is gonna make... Hopefully this game doesn't make me cry. Let's just hope that this game is more dark than sad. Anyway, what did she say? Hey Koji, let's keep thinking. Isn't there some... Oh. Yeah. Koji answers evasively. Cap. Brother, I already checked everywhere. It's a lie, of course. Yo, Koji knows where Omi planned to go that evening, but he doesn't want to bring Fuminori up in front of Yo. The awkward silence is mercifully broken by the bell signaling the start of the next period. Okay. Unless Koji is mistaken, Yo is supposed to have class next period too. She just sits there, staring off into space. Unable to come up with anything to say, he leaves the cafeteria reluctantly. Dang. Both Omi's disappearance and Yo's depression worry Koji, and both problems lead back to the exact same place. That's a good question. He's doing Saya. Someone stop this man. When Omi went missing, the first thing he did was question Fuminori. After all, the last time he'd seen her was just before she stormed off to give Fuminori a piece of her mind. Yup. Fuminori responded with unequivocal denial and acted like he hadn't the slightest idea why Omi would have gone to see him. Perhaps that was only natural, as he was unaware that Omi and Koji had witnessed him reduce Io to tears. Did Omi even make it to Fuminori's house? Excuse me, she had been riding a wave of emotion when she left, and might have calmed down and changed her mind halfway there. No, or perhaps she ran into trouble on the way. Wait a second. I know I keep going off into tangents every so often, but they didn't finish eating Omi. They packed up smaller bits into Tupperware and larger bits into pots and pans, stuff like that. Pots. Well, all right, but you get the point. So they packaged up the remainder of the remains of Omi, right, and put it in his fridge. Are they gonna find that? Is someone gonna find that? Just human bits in the fridge? Then again, if anybody does happen to go into his house, they're probably gonna get killed by Saya, just like Omi. Right? I don't know. I kind of want to see what Saya looks like in her entirety. I really do. Koji concluded, or more accurately convinced himself, that one of these possibilities was the truth, subconsciously denying the one remaining possibility, that Fuminori was lying, that he had met Omi and was involved with her disappearance. When questioned by the police, Koji told the truth about Omi's destination only up to the train station, maintaining that he had no idea where she planned to go after that. He wanted to cooperate with the search, of course, but Omi couldn't have made it to Fuminori's house. Fuminori said so himself, didn't he? In that case, he told the police everything they needed to know. Not wanting to get the still fragile Fuminori, not wanting to get the still fragile Fuminori involved, he forced himself to accept this flimsy logic. My brain cells were fighting, bro. my head is hot, it's burning. But the conflict has built up inside of him without his notice, leaving unanswered suspicion to fester in his mind. Koji is deep in thought, paying no attention to his surroundings. But perhaps that is, okay, good, I'm capturing my audio. That would have been tragic if I wasn't. But perhaps that is what allows him to catch sight of his friend's back through the crowd of milling students. At first, Koji assumes that he's headed to the lecture hall, but it soon appears that he is instead going home. Strange. Medical students have required courses in the afternoon. Though he is initially surprised, Koji's hesitation lasts for only a second. He follows his friend, taking care to stay far enough behind that he won't be noticed. Dog. Unless you, as a flesh beast, are very distinguishable, I don't think Fuminori is going to notice you. Of course, nobody knows about his Ignacia, because he doesn't tell anybody except Saya. But Koji, I'm just saying, man, you probably straight. He probably is actually pretty sure like each flesh beast is probably distinguishable to a degree, like weird traits and whatnot. Fuminori wasn't going home, as became obvious when he boarded a train heading in the opposite direction. Koji's next guess was that he was going to see his doctor at the T University Hospital, but Fuminori rode straight through the closest station. And I'm just vibing. Stalking the dude. At first, Koji felt ashamed for telling his friend like this, but his conscience fell silent as Fuminori's actions grew more mysterious. The stranger it gets, the closer Koji feels to discovering the truth behind Fuminori's sudden transformation. Any knowledge will be welcome, no matter how slight. Even Koji's beginning to think that there must be more behind Fuminori's change than the accident alone. He wants a more satisfying answer, one that will help him decide whether Fuminori can still be trusted. Okay. Fuminori gets off at a small station in a nondescript suburb of Tokyo. Koji follows, trying not to lose sight of him amid the other disembarking passengers. Okay. The area is quite desolate, With only a small bookstore, a convenience store, and a market in front of the train station, it is easy for Koji to keep Fuminori in view. This neighborhood was carved out of the Fuji foothills, and here and there remain steep inclines and wooded areas that escaped assimilation. Koji is amazed that such a quiet place exists less than an hour out of central Tokyo. Fuminori seems to know these streets. He moves quickly and purposefully through the suburban community, his eyes fixed straight ahead. Yeah, there ain't really much pleasant for him to look at, okay? Before long, Fuminori reaches a house. Without ringing the bell or even knocking, he opens the door and vanishes inside, leaving Koji to wonder how Fuminori can treat the house as his own. After waiting to see if Fuminori comes back out, Koji approaches the gate and checks the nameplate. Ogai, it reads. Ogai! Dr. Ogai, that's right! Saya's papa, apparently. Apparently. Koji has never heard of anyone by that name among Fuminori's acquaintances. Next, his attention is drawn to the thick wad of leaflets sticking out of the mail slot. This, coupled with a general dilapidated feel of the place, suggests that it had been abandoned for some time. Okay, so Dr. Ogai's residence appears abandoned. A small playground about 2 blocks away provides an adequate vantage point from which to watch the front of the Ogai home. Fortunately, it does not appear to be the sort of house that has a rear exit. Koji settles down on a bench and begin his stakeout. Should have brought more smokes. Oh, dang. 1 hour. Oh, okay, 1 hour. Only 1 hour? Whatever. 1 hour passes, and then another. I need to read ahead. But there remains no sign of movement around the Ogai residence. Bruh, soon twilight settles upon the neighborhood. After Koji's 1 pack of cigarettes runs out, the stakeout becomes a battle against mounting impatience. He kills time by redialing Omi on his cell and sending her short text messages, but his efforts are futile, as he knew they would be. When the sky begins to turn deep blue and the streetlights come on, Fuminori finally emerges from the house and heads back toward the station with the same hurried stride. After some brief consideration, Koji decides that right now, investigating the house is more important than tailing Fuminori. My man was patient, however, turned deep blue. It's orange outside, my brother. That is not a deep blue. But whatever, no, don't care. He rings the doorbell just to make sure. After receiving the expected silence in response, he checks to make sure no one is watching and turns the doorknob. The door is not locked. Ugh. Oof. The moment he enters the house, stale air, thick with mold and dust, fills Koji's nostrils. It is the unmistakable smell of a house that has long lain untouched. There is also a faint hint of something else in the air, something reminiscent of damp sewers and fetid cisterns. Flipping the light switch does nothing. The power must be cut off. Wait. Oh, I think I'm tripping. Thought I saw something in my camera, bro. I almost freaked the frick out. Freaked the frick out. Koji uses his cigarette lighter to illuminate the immediate area. In the thick dust covering the floor, he sees several brand new trails of footprints that could have only been made by shoes. Fuminori's. Koji decides to follow suit and dispense with courtesy. He enters with his shoes on. Shoes on? Really? Brother. The lighter's flickering flame pushes back the deathly silence and gloom of the house. Oh gosh. I don't like that sound. Koji is surprised to see evidence of life remaining. Everything from furniture to tableware and appliances. Nothing seems to be missing. The thickness of the dust suggests that the house has been empty for several months, which means that the owner must have left with little more than the clothes on his back. Could he have gone on a long vacation? And not have any sort of caretaker or whatever? I don't know. The calendar in the den is still turned to April. Spring. They were discussing a ski trip in the first part. What month is it really? I need to freaking get a grasp on the time period right now, so that I'm not just like, April. What's the significance of that? Is it not April? No, it's not April. I don't know what month it is though. All right, one of the other 11 ones. I'm an idiot. Empty and silent, yet still exhibiting signs of the life that was once lived there, the house reminds Koji of a passenger ship entombed at the bottom of the sea. In the graveyard-like quiet, a sinister thought suddenly enters his mind. Dang, man. My face is dark. No light source, baby. Alright, no one is living here, but that does not have to mean that the owner left. Maybe he was murdered, and his rotting corpse is right under Koji's feet. Ooh. He finds himself wanting a stronger light. A flashlight in his hand will make him feel much better. Oh man, it's silent. Only with footsteps. Koji follows Fuminori's footsteps to the second floor, where he begins to catch the scent of paper in the stale air. It is the smell of old books, instantly recognizable to anyone who has worked in an antique bookstore or library. Oh, there we go, music now. Alright. We're good. We're good. We chill. The first room on the second floor turns out to be a study. Its towering shelves packed with such a vast number of books that Koji fears for the stability of the floor. As a medical student himself, he is able to discern at a glance that the study belongs to a medical professional, and a high-level one at that. Judging by the content of the books, a smorgasbord of technical volumes far beyond a simple student's understanding, the owner's interests lie more with medical research than with clinical practice. Okay. Fuminori must have spent most of his time here. The scattered dust suggests that he was searching for something, and the contents of the desk drawers are in obvious disarray. A small pile of books stacked on the side table catches his eye. Being next to the desk, they must have been the most frequently read. Their nature could shed some light on the character of the person who worked here. What the frick do books look like to Fuminori? What exactly do they look like? Because my guess, I would have thought that any like technology, like TV screens, phone, a desktop, whatever, would not function for him anymore. Right? Because they'd just be made of flesh. How the frick can flesh depict images through pixels? Tell me that, dude. I mean, how the frick? But for books, I would have thought that the papers or each page would have just been like paper thin meat. I don't know, but apparently Fuminori is reading. Maybe, well, that's not confirmed, but he's going through the books, so if he couldn't read, why would he go through the books then? So he probably can read. Small pile of books stacked on the side table catches his eye. Being next to the desk must have been okay, yeah. Their nature could shed some light on the character of the person who worked here. Koji frowns as he examines the three books. There aren't scientific texts like the rest, but old leather-bound Western tomes like the sort you would find in a rare bookstore. The titles are meaningless to him. Traité de Chiffres appears to concern semiotics, but Ars Magna et Ultima is some kind of treatise on divination. And then there's the Voynich manuscript, which looks like some sort of picture book. When he pages through it, he finds the text utterly incomprehensible. Maybe it's some kind of cipher. Huh. Okay. Dr. Ogai's house has a bunch of cryptic text and tomes, right? In his study, Saya claims Dr. Ogai to be her father. Saya's not a human, an eldritch abomination. That's what she is, not a human. Okay, she's a monster. Dr. Ogai has weird books that is incomprehensible. The reason why I'm looking at the camera like this is because I believe Saya was summoned by this fool. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, All right, let's see. Let's see if right or wrong. I don't know. Maybe it won't even be. I don't know. Whatever they are, they clearly have nothing to do with medicine. Refusing Koji's earlier guess that this Ogai was a doctor. Looking down, Koji suddenly notices the glint of something black and metallic underneath the chair. The glint of something black! No! Oh no! The pocket-sized flashlight. Quite out of place among all these dusty books. Fuminori must have brought it in. Oh, yeah. With relief, Koji exchanges his lighter for the flashlight. Its tiny body emits a powerful white beam that casts away the darkness. Courage restored, he decides to explore the rest of the house. Oh, shoot. Koji noticed something strange, something that was not visible in the lighter's weak flame. Slime. Dark, oily stains are everywhere. The stains are especially thick around the doorknobs and stair banisters, like someone grasped them with hands wrapped in greasy cloth. Looking closer, he sees places where slime was splashed low on the walls. It was almost as if a wet mop was run violently across the floor. Alright, this was made by Saya, right? I just had a thought again. If Fuminori was doing the deed with Saya, when Saya is just this slimy thing, Fuminori's gotta take a bath or a shower. Is water normal to him? It's blood. That's like, it only makes sense if it was blood. If it is blood. I don't know. Oh, man. He got turned on by that. You heard that. Could a guy have made these marks? If so, how? Koji begins to feel sick as he imagines a man shambling through the house with slime dripping from his body. Oof. Yeah, it wasn't him. Finding the bedroom next to the study, Koji checks the closet on a hunch. He discovers 2 empty suitcases, not what one would leave behind when going on a long vacation. A sudden chill runs through him. Whoever was living here is still somewhere inside the house. Gosh. He's dead! Suppressing the urge to flee, Koji goes back downstairs to check the first floor. If he finds a corpse, he'll have to call the police right away. He might get away with trespassing if he reports it first, but if they find the body later, it'll be awfully hard to explain his fingerprints all over the house. The flashlight reveals the den to be covered in even more slime than the rest of the house. The sofa looks as though it was dredged from the bottom of a swamp. Ugh. What's Saya doing, bro? What the? In the kitchen, Koji takes one look at the sink and decides not to get any closer. He doesn't want any more fuel for his imagination. He reaches the door to the bathroom. A common scene from TV dramas flashes through his head. A body with slit wrists floating in a bathtub full of water. That would be a jump scare for real. Actually, an even bigger jump scare to me is if you open the door and someone's hanging from a noose. We all know that Doki Doki Literature Club scene. Yeah. That one. That was a shock. That would be terrifying to run into. Gosh, I heard it like a very scary, not necessarily scary, but very disturbing story a while back from, I don't know if it was a mortician or whoever it is, people that go to like crime scenes or scenes of suicides and whatnot and cleans up the dead bodies, gathers them up. I'm gonna be brief. Essentially, that person, whoever was like called to the scene, went to go pick up a body that committed suicide. However, the body was just sitting there for months. Okay, so you past the smell, past the decomposition or decomposing flesh on the body, looking past all that, what made it very disturbing and scary to me is when he said he opened the door, since it was hanging from the noose, the body weight just elongated that individual's neck, and it was still attached. It was just super long neck. No, sir. All right, let's get back to the game. All right. And wasn't there a movie where a hitman disposes of his victim in a bathtub filled with lye? Okay. Don't jump scare me, please. Koji braces himself for the worst and opens the door slowly, then shines a light in the ceramic bathtub that appears from the darkness like a white ghost. Oh. Bones, a mountain of bones, black with dry flesh and blood. Where the bones at? Alright, this game's trolling. Koji puts one hand against the wall to steady himself as his legs threaten to buckle. Something is wrong. He realizes as he tries desperately to get his thoughts in order. Bones are too small, and there are too many of them. Too small. They aren't human. Oh, this angle's nasty, bro. After taking several deep breaths to calm himself, Koji enters the bathroom and examines the tub. Is something gonna pop up behind him? This angle looks like it's setting up. It's being set for that. The bones are piled atop each other like fallen leaves. They appear to be small animals, perhaps cats or dogs. He did not choose the word cats and or dogs on it. Like that's not an accident. This is where Saya went. Like this is where she went whenever she was hunting. Whenever she was done hunting. I can't talk, dude. Even so, the quantity is mind-boggling. How many bodies would it take to produce this many bones? The bones have all been separated from one another, so it doesn't look like bodies were just thrown into the tub and left to rot. Each bone is covered with deep grooves, marks left by teeth biting through the flesh. Koji's sanity won't let him consider the possibility that a human could have done this. The owner of this house must have been kept some sort of carnivorous animal as a pet, giving it the bones of small animals to eat and disposing of the remains in the bathtub. But why not dispose of the leftovers properly? They could have just been thrown out of the garbage. Or was there something keeping him from leaving the house? The relief Koji felt when he realized the bones weren't human is once again under attack. In the first place, what the hell was Fuminori doing here? Oh man, the psychopath is behind you, dude. Or psycho and sociopath. He's like both of them. I don't know. What's wrong, Koji? That turned him on. He's like, oh. Alright, so Koji whirls around, his light revealing Fuminori's expressionless face. Ooh. Koji replies, barely managing to speak over the pounding of his heart. Fuminori pushes past Koji and looks into the bathtub. He doesn't even flinch at the sight of the bones. Koji doesn't want to believe that the old, friendly Fuminori could have had contact with the denizens of this house. I owe her my life. Koji runs after Fuminori. His heart is finally beating normally again. Bro, that look, man. Golly. Is that his collarbone, by the way? No, it can't be. That's way too high. That's like right here, dude. What is that? Probably just an artistic error. And what design is on his t-shirt? What brand you got? Not gonna talk, huh? All right. Standing in it. Wait a second. Green button up, pocket on the left breast, white shirt. He's got a handsome complexion though, so like, dang, almost there. I'm close enough. All right, let me stop yapping. Standing in the entrance, Fuminori glares coldly over at Koji over his shoulder. The utter lack of emotion in his eyes gives Koji pause. Koji swallows. What can he say? Oof. Fuminori walks away without another word, leaving Koji alone in the entrance. Up until this very moment, concern for his friend was still at the forefront of his mind. Now, however, that concern is swiftly giving way to a growing sense of dread. Does the Fuminori he knew no longer exist? Was the person who stared Koji down an imposter wearing Fuminori's skin? Koji has begun to believe that it might be so. Ooh, Yeah, Koji dumped. Bro. This song again, man. Don't get me wrong, it goes hard. But dang, what a nuisance. Why does he insist on interfering? If he only spoke to me, if he only spoke with me to exchange pleasantries, even I could bear it. But now he's sticking his nose into my business just to satisfy his curiosity. Koji is a perfect example of someone who thinks that it's always good to take an interest in other people's affairs. He probably thinks that he's doing me a favor by prying into my life. He couldn't be more wrong. If he keeps this up, I might have to find some way to deal with him. Like Sai said, I have to keep my search for Dr. Ogai's secret. Koji could ruin everything. No, Koji, back off now, man. This guy's unhinged. We don't need you dying on me, alright? Omi was enough. No more casualties. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. I didn't have time to fully investigate the Ogai residence today. At this rate, it will probably take several days just to go through the study. Sai didn't believe that I'd find anything to help with the search, but I think there's still a lot to explore. Who knows what I'll discover? The problem is Koji. He knows about the house now. Will he make things difficult? That scared me. Excuse me. A hair-raising voice calls as I'm about to pass through my gate. Pressing a shutter, I put on a fake smile and turn to face the writhing mass of rotten flesh that's staring at me with bulging eyes. Writhing? Is it writhing? Give me just 1 second here. I'm about to get to the bottom of this right now. Writhing. Okay, sweet. Suppressing a shutter, put on a fake smile and turn my face to the writhing mass of rotten flesh that is staring at me with bulging. This shot again, bro. Bro, look at this. Bro, he's got a handle on his head. And then you got the eye, obviously. And then what is that right there? Good evening. Are you just getting home? Of course. This is my next door neighbor, Suzumi, a middle-aged painter, I think, who spends all day at home while his wife works. I haven't had much contact with him since the accident. Why is he suddenly talking to me now? He's probably talking to you because your house is probably disgusting. Okay, let's break this down a bit. That's like what? This is the mouth. There's like another miniature mouth off on the side. That's rank. Yeah, that's rank. Some hair. That looks like a neck. A tongue. I know, but you're still young. You have to try to move on with your life. He doesn't care. What is this? Did he stop me just to deliver a lecture? Yes. Old people, am I right? It must be hard to take care of everything by yourself. A caretaker? Did your father have one? Yes, that's exactly why I was talking to him. It's just as I guessed. Your house, your front yard, it's probably filthy. Not probably, it is filthy. Omi said as much when she was still alive. Oh. Flesh piece undulates foully. As though it still has something to say, the side of it is driving me close to the edge. Be happy to help? Yeah, no, you gotta do it yourself, big dog. No. What part of the body is this, man? Because those look like eyelashes. But I'm probably wrong. Bro, and then that. Are those veins or are those like little pieces? Oh, man, this is rank. I'm probably, every time I see this, I'm probably just gonna constantly question this. Every time, without fail. Like, what is that? Is that hair? I need to chill. Now I get it. He's worried that the unsightliness of my house might diminish the image of his own. Damn snob. I flash a token smile, then retreat behind the safety of my gate. I can feel Suzumi's eyes boring to my back all the way to the front door. I won't ever want to stay out of my life. I just want to live together with Saya alone where no one will ever bother us. Okay, so this is the dude. Suzumi Yosuke. Suzumi Yosuke sighs in annoyance as he watches the neighbor boy retreat into his house. What's with his attitude? Even while talking, he kept his eyes averted, as if to avoid looking at something repulsive. Has he always been such an unpleasant young man? No, of course not. When his parents were still alive, he had been a normal youth, a little shy, but sensitive and caring. It must be the stress of his sad situation. If it continues to build, he might start to develop serious mental problems. If only you knew. Or is it too late already? Yosuke wonders as he gazes warily at the Sakisaka yard. I think in the first part I said Sakisaki. Sakisaka. Sakisaki. I'm goofy. Even during dinner, Yosuke can't shake the neighboring house from his mind. Adorable. Wife kind of bad. Hey, mind your business, little girl. This ain't coming from the Sakisaka. I almost forgot to read. I almost clicked. House grows worse each day, and the Suzumi family is at its wit's end. These suckers have no clue. Hey, little girl, mind your business. Huh. Seconds crawl by, each tick of the clock compounding my agony. When I returned from the Ogai residence, I was greeted by a silent, empty home. Saya had vanished without leaving any clue as to her whereabouts. It isn't rare for her to go for walks at night. I've often gone with her. However, such outings always take place in the middle of the night, when no one is around, and never last for more than 2 hours. Right now, it's 5 in the morning. Soon the sky will begin to show the first light of dawn. Even if she left right before I returned, she's still been gone for almost half a day. I can't sleep. I can only wait in anguish. I tried to distract myself by painting more rooms, but I couldn't concentrate on the work. If I had known this would happen, I would have left the Ogai house sooner. I wish I hadn't wasted time on Koji. Saya doesn't return. The thought makes me want to tear out my hair. After its long absence, the terror of true loneliness is too much to bear. Oh, there we go. There we go. Dang! That text came in quick. All right. At least the cowbell chimes and Saya's long-awaited "I'm home, tadaima" rings out from the bottom of the stairs as I jump out of my bed in relief. All of the stress that has built up through the night is released in a wave that threatens to sweep me off my feet. Where'd you go?
一体どこに
There we go. Yeah, he's flipping. My question trails off as I notice the thick bundles of paper that she's carrying under her arms.
それは
文則のカルテとか手術の記録。今日は古巣の病院に行ってきたの。
Alright, his records. Okay. Saya drops her bundles on the floor, sending papers flying everywhere, and pulls her favorite cushion over and collapses into it, stretching luxuriously.
こんな夜中に T 台から歩いて戻ってきたのか。
ごめんね。本当はもっと早く帰れると思ってたんだけど、調べ出したらキリがなくて。結局全部持ち出してきちゃった。ああ、重かった。
Alright. Maybe it's just exhaustion, but I'm not understanding what Sai is saying.
だから。
Yeah, what you doing with the records?
そんなもの持ってきてどうするつもりなんだ。
Are you actually gonna like try to help him?
どうするって、もちろん調べるのよ。うちで時間かけてじっくり。
Holding one MRI photograph after another up to the light, I'll have plenty of time to go over it here. At first, I think she's just playing around, but the occasional mutters of, better check this one. Oh, I see. Well, that was silly of them. And the like as she separates photos into a growing pile beside her makes me think that this might not be a joke after all.
君、わかるのか?
Do you understand this stuff?
パパにいろいろと教わったから。
She flashes me a grin, then returns to the papers. Oh, so that's how it is. What, you understand what's going on with Fuminori? Remember, she's not human. How intelligent is she? Is she, like, wicked smart? Because right now I'm getting the impression she is. Probably is. No wonder it can't be fixed. Don't say that, tell me why! What is it? So that's how it is. How? What would it...
直せないのか?
Oh.
人間のお医者さんじゃね。
Ooh. What do you mean by that? What you saying? I can't tell if she's being serious. Now she is.
私でもまだちょっと難しいかな。いろいろと試してからでないと。
Even for me, it'd probably be tough, she says offhandedly, even as her hands can do so. I'll have to experiment first. Okay. Watching more closely, I realized that her eyes are scanning each page rapidly. So rapidly, in fact, that I was unable to notice it at first. Could Saya actually be reading my charts? She answers coolly, looking up from the charts.
今日はもう疲れたし、寝ないか?
Alright, let's go to bed.
文則がそうしたいならそうする。
I probably shouldn't have gotten the uncensored version. Alright. Okay, Sai tosses aside the paper she was sorting and leaps on me and begins to tear off my clothes.
おい。
ねえ、寝る前に一回だけ。ね、いいでしょ?
Contrary to her appearance, Saya's appetite for sex will put any adult to shame. You could even say it's a little unnatural. She's not just passionate, she also has unlimited stamina, making me wonder where her slender body gets all the energy. Never satisfied with letting me feast on her to my heart. Never satisfied with letting me feast on her to my heart's content. She always uses me to pleasure herself until I'm forced to tap out.
マサヤ、こう毎日続けてちゃ体に毒じゃないのか?
え、文則、どこか具合が悪いの?
Are you sick? Yeah, he is!
いや、僕は別にちゃんと大人の体になってるし平気なんだけど、でもさ。
Oh, she meant like if he had like a cold or I'm an idiot. My body's all grown up, but you're... Yeah.
平気だよ。
She laughs playfully as she pushes me onto the bed, the familiar sweet sensation of her weight and skin rendering me
平
helpless.
気なわけないだろ。今まで否認もしてないってのに。
To my astonishment, Saya is completely uninterested in safe sex. She doesn't just eschew protection, she even insists that I ejaculate inside of her. Oh my dude! I kind of want to play the censored version to see if like this is different. The text. Like I know there's gonna be a foul imagery here pretty soon. Okay. Like I said, whenever I had to replay up to the point where I left off on the first episode, there was a sex scene. That mess was explicit. Oh, I'm mainly here for the uncensored, like, what is it? Dark stuff. Not this passionate stuff with a little girl. That is probably a line I shouldn't have said, but like, that's what this is, man. How old is this? How old is Saya? The only thing that's keeping me from being completely disgusted is the fact that she's not human. Right? Which is funny to say, because that should probably be even more reason for me to be even more disgusted, is the fact that she's a very young monster. That Fuminori is getting down with. Surely she must know the risk, which can only mean that she wants to get pregnant.
ふみのりはさ、さやに子供を産ませるの嫌？
You don't want me to have your children. How can I respond to that? Bro, that probably got him worked up. He's like, dang. Alright, let's do it.
いやも何も。さやみたいに小さい体じゃ無理だって。母体の負担ってのは大変なんだぞ。
Not that your body's too small. Pregnancy is a serious... Okay.
ふみのりが心配してることって割と的外れなんだけど。
I'd worry about compatibility. Because you're not human. Saya seems unsure how to reply, but not because she doesn't understand what I said. Rather, the bemused look in her face makes it seem as though I'm the one not getting it.
でもそれってふみのりがさやのことを大事に思ってくれてるからなんだよね。それはそれで嬉しい。
By the time I break the spell of her angelic smile, Saya's undone my belt and is removing my pants.
なおい、だからさや。
大丈夫。
She says teasingly as she bares my crotch and wraps her slender white fingers around my... Ah! Alright, I'm gonna read this. No stutter, no pause. The feeling of her willowy, unblemished fingers embracing me is enough to fill me with twisted ecstasy and draw out my male instinct. There we go, I stuttered. I messed up. God dang it! Seeing my response, Saya brings her face to my groin and lovingly wraps her lips around the head of my penis. My hips jerk involuntarily at the unexpected intense shock of her sucking hard as such a sensitive Bro, I got church tomorrow. And this is what I'm playing? I knew what I was getting into. It's a video game. It's fake. But this is wild. The good thing I'm going to church tomorrow.
痛かった？
Every time I play this game, bruh, I gotta ask God for forgiveness. Every time. Like, I'm sorry. It's got weird scenes in it, but the story's good. The story is good. It's good. I'm not here for the sex scenes. I promise. Please forgive me. lingering on this photo for a little too long. Did that hurt? She asked, looking timidly up at me as she soothingly strokes my
Yeah, 大丈夫.
Where did Saya learn how to pleasure a man so well? I can't believe the precision and skill of her ministrations. Her sinuous fingers are like snakes, coiled around my manhood, their sensual undulations drawing desire forth from my loins. Don't go down any lower. I can't go any lower. I could cut off here. Oh God. Oh my. What the? As if all 10 of her fingers weren't enough to drown me in pleasure, next she adds her lips and tongue. Stop! Hey! The mind-blowing pleasure from this new sim... Stop! This is normal. The damp heat different from her. I wanna read this, but it's just stop. I just gotta thug it out. But where? When the moment comes, what will I do with this thing? It's... Alright, I went down too low. I gotta cut this off, so I'll read this. She grabs my thighs and doubles the intensity of her sucking as if she's trying to pull me even deeper into... I'm worried about her, but my body is at its limit. And as... Okay, thank God. Just so y'all know, I'm gonna stand up. I'm wearing sweatpants right now, right? I'm gonna push my underwear down. I'm not, like... This is not enticing to me. Stand up. Yeah! Nothing! Alright, I'm just glad that noise is done. Like, golly. As irresistible waves of pleasure sweep away my willpower, I unleash my pent-up What have I done? I feel panic rise within me. Regardless of the situation, I shouldn't have it. What if she chokes on it? Sai, however, pays no heed to my distress, still clinging to my waist like a predator unwilling to relinquish its prey. She starts like someone dying of hunger. Okay. What is she swallowing? The answer is obvious. Every last drop of the passion that I just disgorged into her mouth. It's the first time I ever had a girl do this to me. To be honest, I'm speechless with shock. I've always been prejudiced against fellatio, thinking it to be something that a perverted, sadistic men force women to do. But Saya, thank you.
美味しかったよ、ふみのり。
Yeah? She looks up at me, answering my confusion by smiling like she just pulled the greatest prank of her life. Her small tongue darts out from her lips to lick away the last milky... That tongue was just like it... The thought sends a whirring jolt of pleasure to my brain.
それだったら、ふみのりだって心配ないでしょ?
いや、まあ。
What am I supposed to say to that?
ね
Yeah, and this is different too.
え、こういうのだと
It's a little more zoomed in. I don't really have to blur this. You could, yeah, you could see her left breast. That's just a nipple. A 2D nipple. Hey, was it bad? It didn't feel good. Hearing the sudden nervousness inside his voice, I hastily stammer. I don't understand why this was censored. Everything else I get. This, however, or not, it was cropped. Of course it felt good. I said, oh. Felt so good that I thought I'd go crazy, but I can't say that, can I?
でもさや、何もあんなもの飲み込まなくたって。
そんなあ れはさやにちょうだいよ。
Man, this freaking eldritch horror is horny, bro. What the chill, tone it down. Suddenly distraught, Saya clings to me like a child who's just had her candy stolen.
文則の一滴だって残さずに欲しい。さやの中に出して欲しいの。
中にって。
This is the freakiness episode, bruh. So Saya really does want to bear my child, bruh. I'm not adverse to the idea. I still think it might be too early, of course, but there isn't much point in worrying about my reputation now. Assuming that Saya and I will be left alone, I even welcome it. However, that only explains her appetite for normal sex. I still don't know why she wants to swallow, of all things. Can we move past this, man? Well, I suppose that's what's impure or taboo. Differs from person to person, and I can't simply apply normal values to Saya.
文則は嫌。
She gazes up at me pleadingly. How can I resist?
嫌なんかじゃないさ。さやさえそれでいいのなら、僕だって。
Saya smiles with relief and burrows contentedly into my chest.
文則大好き。
She purrs softly. With her body draped over mine, I became even more aware of how light and delicate she is. Can this tiny girl and I really live as husband and wife? I feel a pang of self-loathing at the question. How can I still be afraid after all that's happened? Saya's resolve once and for all to rid myself of the useless trappings of morality. Saya and I are all that matters. There's no point in worrying about what others think anymore. Although I suppose I should talk to Saya's guardian, of course. I need to find Dr. Ogai as soon as possible. By the time I drift to sleep in exhaustion's comforting embrace, all doubts about Saya's action have vanished from my mind. Whatever the case, all that matters is that she's returned to me. Gosh. Been recording for 1 hour. I'm gonna go for a little bit longer because I genuinely don't want this episode's highlight to be Fuminori getting that Gluck 2000 by a little girl. That is a wild thing to say, but that's what it is. That's what happened. I'm out here saying diabolical stuff, and I think my windows are open too. So if anybody's outside, they're like, "Hey, FBI, come get your mans." All right, but anyway, 2 o'clock for Suzumi Yosuke, and this is the most fulfilling time of the day. Oh, we're back to this dude. Okay. After seeing his wife and daughter off, taking care of the morning chores, and eating a leisurely lunch, it's finally time to sit down at his easel. He's not a particularly popular painter, and he would only hold an exhibition if he were hurting for money. However, the design work he does on the side ensures there's always enough to support his lifestyle. Alongside the salary his wife earns working for a magazine, they're able to pay their mortgage, send their daughter to school, and still have plenty left over. Yosuke's life is perfect, leisurely and absent of want. He loves his house, considering it's a symbol of his success. When he mows the lawn, polishes the windows and floors, and cleans the kitchen, toilet, and bath, he feels the same joy as he does when washing his own body. Just as he knows the length of his fingernails and the time since his last meal, he also knows everything about his home's condition, the status of every door, the freshness of every flower, the amount of ice in the ice tray, every last detail. This is his pride, and when he sits in his studio, smelling the turpentine, and knowing that each element of his house is in perfect order, he feels the ultimate satisfaction. That's what's up. Whilst trying to find the right combination of paints on his palette, he suddenly feels thirsty, but soon remembers that there isn't much orange juice left in the refrigerator. In fact, it's also about time to stock up on bath additive and powdered soap. He could get everything at the supermarket when he goes to shop for dinner, but it'll probably be quite heavy. Man up! It'd be quite heavy. Now then, where should I leave off to go shopping? As he ponders this dilemma, he heads downstairs to the kitchen. Just then, a breath of air tickles the back of his neck, bringing him back to a halt in the middle of the hallway. A breeze. Impossible. Every window in the house is closed. Yosuke shut them himself during the morning cleaning. Yosuke enters the living room, searching for the source of the breeze. Something stinks. It's the same pungent smell of fetid swampland that emanates from the Sakisaka house. The window facing the yard next door is open. Its curtains billowing loosely in the gentle breeze. There's a hole in the glass next to the lock. It looks strange, like it was melted by some chemical instead of broken. Someone must have reached through the hole to unlock the window. Yosuke stands paralyzed, his heart pounding with anger and fear. He listens carefully but hears nothing. Perhaps the intruder has already finished his business and left, but a burglar wouldn't have left the room untouched, would he? Is this Saya? She did say she melted Omi. So she melted the hole through the door to break into his house. It's gotta be Saya. Maybe he heard Yosuke coming and Maybe he heard Yosuke coming and hid somewhere nearby. Yosuke realizes that his still wet palette knife is in his right hand. He must have forgotten to put it aside before going downstairs. He stares numbly at the knife for a moment, then decides that it's not enough protection. Instead, he grabs an ashtray sitting on top of the table, made of thick solid glass, big and heavy enough to serve as a weapon. The stone that he thought of as part of himself now seems utterly alien. Keenly aware of the thumping of his heart, Yosuke looks around the living room and sees little that can be used as a hiding place. The intruder must have gone either to the guest room or through the dining room to the kitchen. The kitchen is close to the stairs. If there had been movement, Yosuke would have noticed it when he came down, which means that the guest room is the most likely place. He shuffles over to the guest room door and prepares to slide it open. But what is that stench? Could the breeze alone carry something so foul? It's as if the odor is coming from inside the room. He readies his ashtray and throws open the door. The straw-matted Japanese-style room is empty. There was a closet, but no one could fit in there. So the intruder already left. Yosuke relaxes, the exhaustion of sudden relief coming over him. Yep, false alarm, dude. No, you're not safe. It's bait. Something's still gonna happen. Right as I say this is bait, and that is when something seizes his ankle. The instant he freezes in shock, his legs is yanked out from under him, sending him crashing to the floor. Stars explode behind his eyes as his head smacks against the door rail. The hand, if it could even be called that, wrapped around Yosuke's ankle extends all the way back to beneath the living room sofa. There were barely 5 centimeters between the sofa and the floor, whatever's hiding there. Can't possibly be human. Oh, yeah. Before the screaming, Yosuke can regain his footing. Countless hand-like appendages seize his arms and legs, rendering him helpless. Oh. As a hideous voice burbles in his ear, something cold and soft crawls atop him. Yosuke can't even scream, his terror is so great. He just screamed! Then, tube-like appendages penetrate his ears and nose, wriggling deep into his skull. Right before the sensation drives him mad, Yosuke loses consciousness. That text came in quick! Thank you for taking the time to see us, Koji says, his humble bow concealing his surprise at the doctor's youth. Even without her light makeup, she wouldn't look a day over 30. She must be quite talented to believe in neurosurgeon at such a young age. Yeah. It's kind of bad. That's what I said in the first episode. She's kind of bad. Kind of bad. Don't mention it. I was hoping somebody like you would come along. Her friendly smile has none of the coldness one might expect from her sharp, refined beauty.
はじめまして。崎坂文則君の主治医の丹保です。
文則の友人で、殿尾浩二と言います。彼女は筑波陽。
Yo gives a quick bow, her expression apologetic. When they arrived at the T University Medical Center and asked to see Fuminori's doctor, Koji and Yo had been prepared for rejection. They hadn't expected with the ease with which their request was granted.
崎坂君の件について話が聞きたいっていうことだけど、それは私の方でも同じでね。
は
あ。I got 14 messages from my brother on Discord. I had 2 messages like not
留守電に入れた伝言にも返事が
not
ないし
even 30 seconds ago, and now I got 14. This sucker's spamming. He didn't come in for his checkup 2 days ago. I tried calling his home, but there was no answer. 2 days ago, the same day Fuminori was searching that abandoned house, Koji frowns, wondering what was important enough for him to blow off his appointment.
彼、学校ではどんな様子？
どうもこうも。もうめちゃくちゃです。
Seeing Yo's shoulders jerk out of the corner of his eye, Koji regrets not choosing his words more carefully.
事故の前とまるで人が違ったみたいに見えます。僕たちもいろいろとどうしていいかわからなくて、それで今日は先生の話を伺えたらと。
あなたたちも医大生？
Are you medical students too?
はい。
彼のカルテ見てみたいと思う。
見せてくれるんですか、そんなもの。
Would you like to see his chart? Is it gonna be missing? Cause I got him.
そう思った人
Dr. Timbo
もいる
regards
みたいなのよ。それも病院には無断でね。一昨日の晩、この病院に誰かが押し入ってね。保管庫から咲坂君のカルテを盗んでいったの。
Saw ya, the little thief.
本当ですか。
She stares hard at the astonished students and then shakes her head with a tired smile.
まあ、あなたたちは無関係そうね。ちょっと安心したわ。
当たり前です。
でも、犯人は咲坂君の容体に興味があるか、それとも彼の治療記録を消したかったのか。いずれにせよ、彼に関わりのある人間としか思えないわ。
A little too close to him, yeah. An ominous thought flashes through Koji's mind. It couldn't have been Fuminori himself, could it? Koji looks at Dr. Tambo and finds her staring right back at him, her expression grave. He realizes that she must be harboring the same suspicion.
あなたには他に
Hey, put that clipboard down!
咲坂
Look
君
at
の
the
知り合
same
いで
sheet!
そういうことをやりかねないような人。
They don't. There's no, they don't. They're gonna be completely off. Perhaps Dr. Tambo didn't have anyone in mind when she asked, but Koji's thoughts immediately fly to that eerie house to which Fuminori led him.
知り合いだか何なのか自分にもよくわからないんですが、多分医者か医学関係の人で、鴎外っていう。
Koji stops speaking as he sees the dramatic change that has come across Dr. Tambo's expression.
ご存知なんですか。
咲坂君がその男といつどうやって知り合ったのかわかる？
いえ、こっちが知りたいぐらいです。先生、一体何者なんですか、あの鴎外っていう人は。
After remaining silent for some time, Dr. Tambo loses a heavy sigh.
いいわ。その気になれば簡単に調べがつくことだし。鴎外正彦はうちの大学にいた教授よ。いろいろと不祥事があって半年以上前に免職になったけど。
Following this, okay.
一体何を。
そこから先は部外者に話せることじゃないわ。どのみち咲坂君には何の関係もないことよ。
Koji has no argument with which to answer Dr. Tambo's flat rejection. However, he can't shake the feeling that this old guy person is the key to unraveling the mystery surrounding Fuminori.
先生、もしかしたら咲坂文則は刑事事件に関わっているかもしれないんです。
At the sudden declaration, both Yo and Dr. Tambo raise their eyebrows.
どういうこと？
彼を訪ねていったっきり行方不明になってしまった人間がいます。もちろん文則は否定していますが。
それって
Oh me.
オミちゃんのこと？
Koji is unable to bear the shock in Yo's voice.
すまん、つくば。君には言えなかった。
Dr. Tambo is frowning, her expression even more serious than before.
その鴎外という人物が今文則の関心の焦点になっているらしいんです。彼が何者で、文則が彼の何について探っているのか、それが分かれば少しは事情が見えてくるかもしれません。 お願いです先生、教えてください。この病院で一体何があったんですか？
Dr. Tambo hesitates for some time, refusing to make eye contact, but she finally shakes her
ごめ
head.
んなさい。こればかりは私の一存で話せる事柄じゃないの。
先生。
でも少しだけ待って。私は私なりにいろいろと調べてみる。放っておける状況じゃないのはよく理解できたから。
Oh,
お願いします。
alright. Koji's out of options. All that's left is to trust this young doctor. It's frustrating, but a friend's rights only go so far. Man, is her hair dyed or is that her natural hair
お
color?
互い携帯の番号を
I'm
交換して
asking
お
the
きましょう。
important questions
何
right
か分か
now.
ったら連絡するわ。あなたたちも何か新しい動きがあったらすぐに私に教えて。
That's... Yes, sir! Give me your digits.
ええ、わかりました。
I lost my girlfriend. I gotta find someone else. Let's go back to Yosuke. See what happened to Home Dog. Pardon me, do I gotta click? Oh, I did. What happened to me? Yosuke's awareness returns slowly as though rising from a bog. It's cold. No, hot. Something itches like tepid tongues and cold slugs crawling over his skin. The hell going on? Timidly he opens his eyes. Oh my gosh, Saya, why? Alright. It's everywhere. The thing that attacked him in the living room. It's everywhere. Terror shatters Yosuke's sanity. He throws off the thing lying atop him, but his wild flailing sends him crashing to the floor. But is it really the floor? The long wriggling fibers of what should be the carpet are winding themselves around his fingers. The floor is made of worms. Ugh. He tears his limbs free of the worms and tries to stand, but loses his balance and tumbles to the floor again. The worms immediately swarm over his body. Where am I? Where did that thing take me? Yosuke crawls across the worm-ridden floor toward the only exit from the pulsating room. Ah! When he gets outside, however, all he can see is blood, bile, and rotten meat. There is no place to run. Oh god, he get... Dang, bro. No, bro. His family, dude! Oh. Most terrifying of all, this hellish place has the same layout as Yosuke's house. In a half-mad daze, he wanders through the nightmarish mockery of his home. In the small room where his studio should be, he finds an easel made of bones displaying a blood-soaked canvas. Like some cruel joke, everything is exactly where it would be in Yosuke's studio. Howling, Yosuke lashes out against everything within reach. The easel of bone shatters, driving splinters into his fist. He feels the pain, but does not wake up from the nightmare. If this isn't a dream, then what is it? When his strength gives out, Yosuke falls to his knees, sobbing. For the first time in his life, he prays. The sound of the door opening and closing grates on his ear. Grates on his ears. Downstairs, the front door. Is someone else here? Oh, God. Yosuke trembles at the blood-curdling sound. Is that thing? It's that thing again. The monster has returned. Oh. Yosuke hears the sound of something slimy sloshing its way up the stairs. Even as he cowers in terror, he slides his trembling hand across the floor and grabs one of the bones from the broken easel. The tip of the bone is nice and sharp. If he holds it in both hands and puts his weight behind it, he might be able to use it to defend himself. The monster's growls are getting closer. Holding his breath, Yosuke presses his back against the wall next to the door. The pounding of his heart is like thunder in his ears, so loud that he fears the creature might hear it. He knows it will eat him if it finds him again, but it's all he can do to keep from crying. At last, the door creaks open. Leaps on the creature as it enters, fear turning his roar into a high-pitched scream. Flesh Beach is covered in sludge and vile juices, but before horror can paralyze him, Yosuke brings his bone stake, stabbing down. His wife screams as the stake pierces its chest and punches through the other side. It falls back, writhing in agony. The sight of its pain sets Yosuke's blood on fire. I can win. I can kill it. If I finish it off before it enters my head again, I'm safe. Yosuke grabs the bone and twists with all his might. The monster convulses and gurgles, its trembling tentacles reaching up as though begging for help. Yosuke knocks it to the floor, then brings his heel crashing down on its flopping body again and again. With each stomp, it groans and spasms grow weaker. When the monster at last stops twitching, Yosuke, panting hard, tears the stake from his corpse and rises to his feet. Something squeals. Yosuke turns around to see another smaller monster peeking out from him from the stair landing. There's still one left. His desperate, rage-filled attack both exhilarated him and gave him a taste for violence. This one will be easier, smaller and weaker. Grinning maniacally, Yosuke raises the stake and moves towards the second creature. Not about to let his prey escape, Yosuke roars and gives chase. The thought that killing the monster might end this nightmare feeds his savage bloodlust. When the monster trips and falls in the dining room, Yosuke leaps on top of it and brings the stake crashing down. His bloodlust unsated, he pulls it free, then drives it into the monster's flesh. Once, twice, 3 times, and more, until there's nothing left but shredded, pulverized meat. Eventually, the only sound in the house is Yosuke's heavy breathing. He has slain 2 monsters, but the nightmare shows no sign of ending. Yosuke staggers to the front door and goes outside. Sky, the city, everything has gone mad. Twisted shapes, nauseating colors, stinking air. I wonder how Fuminori... That's his house! Twisted shapes, nauseating colors, stinking air, there's no escape, no end to the nightmare. The last remnant of Yosuke's sanity vanishes like dust in the wind.
Konnichiwa, Oji-san.
Hi, mister. Yosuke turns to the sound of a girl's voice. She's standing in front of the house next door, wearing a spotless one piece over her pure white skin. In the midst of his filth-ridden world, she alone glows with beauty.
おじさんには私がどう見える？
ああ、とっても可愛いよ。
Yosuke feels a sudden black lust rise within him.
本当？じゃあ実験は成功かも。
Well, even the experiment might be a success. Yosuke walks up to the strangely jubilant girl and brushes his hand against her long, smooth hair.
こんな可愛らしい女の子はこの世界には君一人しかいないんだろうね。
おじさん？
She looks at the man towering over her, perhaps disturbed by his hungry stare.
お嬢ちゃん、おじさんと遊んでくれるかい？
いいけど、何するの？
A grin parts Yosuke's lips and he replies.
そりゃあもうおじさんが楽しめそうなこと全部さ。
With that, he grabs the girl's collar and tears the front of her dress wide open. Shock and fear twist the lovely girl's delicate features, stimulating Yosuke's sadism. Even after killing those two monsters, the embers of violence still smolder in his heart, and now they have new fuel to burn. Okay.
いい顔だよ、お嬢ちゃん。
Oh, I like that expression on
おじ
you.
さんにもっと可愛らしい顔をして見せてくれないかい？
The terrified girl flees into the Sakisaka house. Yosuke runs after her, feeling the joy of the hunt. Even in desperation, she has no hope of outrunning his longer stride. Yosuke charges down the hallway and catches up to her in the kitchen. He grabs her from behind and wrestles to the floor before she can resist.
話してそんなどうしてなの？
だから言っただろう。お嬢ちゃんが可愛らしすぎるからだって。
Enjoying the sensation of her thin arms struggling futilely against his grip, Yosuke uses his weight to hold her down while ripping off her remaining scraps of clothing. She got nothing left! What are you talking about?
嫌だ、こんなの嫌、やめて。
Yosuke stares at the smooth, perfect body of the girl flopping beneath him, entranced by her cherry-like... Here we go with the text again. God dang it! This is darker. This is rape. Soft yet tight belly and narrow waist. The thought of violating such an immaculate creature amid the horrors of the twisted world is irresistibly erotic. Yosuke runs his tongue over her stomach and chest as though preparing to eat her whole. She stiffens and whimpers at the sensation.
こんなはずじゃないのに。
Her tear-choked voice satisfies Yosuke's lust for conquest. This nightmare has violated him, but now he is able to visit the same torment on this innocent girl. Where he was the victim, he is now the victimizer. The release he feels is intoxicating. His manhood is ready and wait as he playfully prods the girl's
嫌だよ、怖いよ、海
まだ何もしてないじゃないか。
This is gonna be bad. Putting his mouth close to the sobbing girl's ear, Yosuke whispers.
今からそんなに怖がるようじゃ。入れた後はどんな声を聞かせてくれるのかな。
If you're this girl, how would you scream when it... Oh, God. Oh. Staring into her wide open eyes, Yosuke drives himself deep into her... Oh, gosh. What the f... Okay. Let's read this. The girl screams in pain as he forces himself through her still dry Yosuke is surprised by her lack of a hymen, but even more so by the sensation of her inner... Much too...
おやおや、ずいぶん男に慣れてるね。可愛い顔して、本当はエッチな子だったんだ。
Oh gosh, bro.
もうやめて、多忙にしないで。
いやいや、こんな悪い子にはお仕置きが必要だと思うね、おじさんは。
Yosuke begins to move it. Okay, each violent, forcing a cry from her lips and tears from her eyes as her head jerks in agony. Soon she loses the strength to resist and goes limp, concentrating instead on enduring Yosuke's cruelty. Yet she still stares tearfully, pleadingly into Yosuke's lust-inflamed eyes as he pounds mercilessly into her... Oh gosh.
優しくしてくれないの？
可愛いからだよ。いじめたくなるほど可愛くて、壊したくなるほど綺麗だからだよ。
The girl's choking gasp, the despair in her eyes, they only intensify his ecstasy.
助けて、海のり。
Oh, Fuminori come through! As always, the sights of the city grate on my nerves. Today, however, I don't feel as much hatred as I usually do. I've grown more accustomed to my condition, but that is not the reason for today's high spirits. My search for the Ogai house has finally borne fruit. When I pulled all the drawers out of the desk in the study, I found an envelope stuck between the desk and the wall. It must have fallen out of the back of the writing tray. Fallen off the back of the writing tray. Inside were 3 outdoor photographs. I couldn't recognize the scenery due to my condition, but I'm pretty sure that they show 3 buildings. 3 outdoor okay. Scrawled on the back of each photo was an address: Nagano Prefecture, M Village, Tochigi, whatever, Prefecture, S Town, Shizuoka Prefecture, H Town. None of the names is familiar, so they must be way out in the countryside. I've been reading a little too much. I'm up. The photos were all dated more than 10 years ago. I don't know why they were taken or what they mean, but maybe Saya will be able to make some sense of them. Ooh, all right, I'm gonna end it here. No, I'm kidding. I actually want to see what happens. In any case, this is something that even Saya missed while she was living in that house. I wonder how she will react when I show her what I found. Saya, I want so badly to see her. The thought of her waiting for me speeds my footsteps. When I step through the gate, I see that the front door is wide open again. This is the second time this has happened. Upon entering the house this time, however, the sound of Saya cry chills my blood. There's no time to take off my shoes. I race down the hallway, propelled by a terrifying premonition. Woo! A monster is in my house and it's raping Saya. The filth oozing from its body spreads across her skin as it drives itself with animal ferocity between her weakly trembling. The monster forces its gross Each time the beast moves, Saya sobs and cries of agony. She looks at me with tear-filled eyes and calls my name in a weak, breathless voice. Rage erupts inside me like black lava. The monster stops gorging itself inside his body and turns his head to look at me. Surprised by my own composure, I step past it and grab the meat cleaver sitting next to the sink. Without a moment's hesitation, I slash at the monster's face. Oh, that's a dope photo. Oh yeah. It screams and staggers away from Saya. My attack must have blinded it, because it flails its tentacles wildly as it tries to drive me away. My bloodlust still unsatiated, or what, I don't know. I calmly seize one of the appendages and plunge my weapon twice more into its quivering flesh. The blade enters its body with fascinating ease. Each strike sprays my face with its blood. Ooh. This goes hard. As I carve the monster to pieces and savor its hideous screams, my mind is finally consumed by rage. No mercy. I'll see this monster suffer for what is done to Saya. I give myself to the fury. I give my howling at the top of my lungs as I slash and slash and slash and slash. Even after the flesh beast stops moving, I keep slashing until I realize that it can no longer feel pain. Cursing myself for killing it so quickly, I stab the cleaver into the floor, snapping it in half. When my thoughts finally begin to regain some cohesion, I find myself still digging the broken knife into the floor. The monster's gone, but pieces of it are scattered everywhere. Stop cutting into the tile. In the sudden silence, I hear Saya's faint sobs coming from a corner of the kitchen.
Saya.
Pull the cowering Saya into my arms. She stiffens in fear at first, but as soon as she realizes that it's me, she clings to my body and cries. I don't know what to say. I can only keep holding her. This should never have happened to Saya. Everything in this twisted world is to blame. Yes, including myself. I couldn't protect her. If I'd been here, then maybe I could have prevented this. She says again and again in a voice choked with tears. Not wanting to hear that from her, I pull her head into my chest. I try to reassure her, but she shakes her head vigorously in denial. I don't understand. What is she saying?
君がやったって何を？
私この人の脳をいじったの。この人の頭の中を文則と同じ状態にして文則が感じるのと同じように世界が見えるようにしたの。
Oh. Takes me some time to understand the meaning of Saya's words.
それは一体どうやって？
Finally regaining composure, Saya responds to my confusion in a low voice.
私にはそういうことができるの。他の生き物の体を組み替えたり調整したり。
Huh.
私に生まれつき備わってる能力なの。
Okay.
どこをどういじればいいのかはその生き物によってまちまちだからちゃんと勉強してからでないとダメだけど、文則の脳に何があったのか私は下調べして分かってたから。だから同じことができるかどうか他の人で実験してみたの。
Huh.
なんでそんなことを？
That's kind of evil. It's whatever.
そうすればみんな
I could really care less that she did that
私に
to
優しく
Yosuke, especially after how Yosuke responded. Freaking dude. I thought that if everyone were like you, they would all be kind to me.
それなのにこの人は全然優しくなんかなかった。さやのことをいじめたいって壊したいって言ってあんな。
She starts crying into my chest again, unable to say anymore. I gently rub her back while trying to get my jumbled thoughts together. What is Saya? That she can do such a thing. The answer is beyond me. However, there is one thing I can answer, here and now. Saya is mistaken.
僕がさやに優しいのは僕が事故に遭ったからだってそう君は思ったんだね。
So I smile and shake my head.
違うよ。それはただの始まりでしかない。そんな簡単なことじゃないんだよ。僕とさやが出会ってそれから2人で過ごした時間のその一日一日の積み重ねが今の僕らの関係を作ってるんだ。わかるかい？
文則。
あの日から今日までさやと一緒にいた僕だからさやに優しくして大切にしてあげたいってそう思う僕になった。そう思われるさやになったんだ。これって大変なことだろう。
Saya is still crying, but now her tears feel warm against my chest.
分かってる。さっきやっと分かった。
Smile shines through her tears.
さやには文則しかいないんだって。文則みたいな人はもう他に誰もいないんだって。
Now more than ever before, I feel the depth of the bond between us, and I'm sure that Saya feels it too. I wrap my arms tightly around her and seal her lips with mine. Saya responds, winding her arms around my neck as our tongues desperately seek each other's. God dang it! At this moment, Saya is my whole world and I am hers. The earth turns for us alone. Of course, I still haven't told her something very important. I don't know why I've never said it before, perhaps because it was always so obvious. However, I should put it into words at least once. This oath of mine.
さや、僕は君のことが
I love you.
待って。
She stops me with a finger against my lips.
その前に文則、一つだけ確かめさせて。あなたの望みを。
僕の望み。
Saya nods, staring into my eyes with unusual solemnity.
さっきも言ったけど、私には私にしかできない方法で 生き物の体に干渉できる。人間の脳をいじる方法もこれでちゃんと確認が取れたわ。だから
Sai pauses and takes a deep breath before continuing.
今ならあなたの頭を元の状態に戻すこともできるの。
なんだって。
Huh. Until now, that hasn't even been in the realm of possibility.
その人にやったのと逆のことを
I just have to
みんな
do.
にしてあげればいいだけ。とっても簡単なことよ。
I replay Saya's words in my head to be sure of their
だ
meaning.
から海のり教えて。あなたが昔の暮らしに戻りたいかどうか、あの事故で失ったものを取り戻したいのかどうか。
I. Well, it autosaved. I'm gonna leave it here. I want it all back or don't need it anymore. I might go for this one because I want to see. I feel like this is like. I feel bad because I feel like, and let me go ahead and go back to the title screen of this game. All right, or just completely quit it. That's fine. That works too. So I feel like that if I go back to normal, or Fuminori goes back to normal, Saya is now just gonna appear as a monster. Will Fuminori still love her? For some reason, I think he will. Okay? I genuinely believe that he will still love Saya, even if he goes back to normal and now he sees her as an eldritch abomination. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Alright. However, he says he doesn't need any more, he wants to throw it away. I don't know where it can go from there. All I know is that Fuminori and Saya are gonna stick together, and they're gonna kill some humans, and they're gonna eat some of those humans and live happily ever after. Amen. No, that's probably a darker route. Either way, first decision of the game. I don't want to look through this footage, man. You know what? You know what? But I'm gonna have to do it anyway. But yeah, that's it. So, uncensored. Yeah. Whatever. I'll see you guys later. I need to lay down. Peace.